Every morning, you wake up, and before you even open your eyes fully, before you check your phone, before you say a single word, your brain is already talking to you. And here's what it's saying. You're tired, rest a little more. Today isn't the right day. You'll start tomorrow, you always do. You think those are your thoughts. You think that voice is you. But what if it isn't? What if the voice in your head every morning is the biggest lie you've ever believed? This is the story of a young man named Aryan and how one morning he finally heard the truth. Aryan was 24 years old. He wasn't lazy, not really. He wasn't stupid, not even close. He had dreams, big ones. He wanted to build something. He wanted to become someone. He had notebooks full of ideas, plans written in the middle of the night, goals circled with red pens. But every morning, when the alarm rang at 6 a.m., something happened. A voice, not loud, not angry, soft, almost kind. You worked hard yesterday. Rest a little more. The weather is cold. Today isn't the day. You're not ready yet. Wait until you feel ready. And Aryan would listen because it felt logical, because it felt true, because it felt like him. He would hit snooze, then snooze again, then look at the ceiling. By the time he got up, half the day was already gone, and the dreams in his notebook stayed in his notebook for months, then a year, then 2. One evening, Aryan went to visit his old friend, Kabir. They'd started at the same place, same college, same dreams, same struggles. But when Aryan knocked on that door, Kabir opened it with a smile that felt different. The room behind him was different. The energy was different. Kabir had started his small business. It was growing. Not perfect, not rich, but moving. Aryan sat down. They talked. They laughed. But inside, Aryan felt something crack. That night, walking home alone, he asked himself a question he had been avoiding for 2 years. What happened to me? He wasn't less talented than Kabir. He wasn't less smart. But Kabir had moved, and Aryan had waited. He reached home, sat on the edge of his bed, opened his notebook. The first page had a date, 2 years ago. This is the year I change everything. He read it, and something inside him broke open. Not in a sad way, in a real way. He whispered to the empty room, "I've been lying to myself every single morning." The next morning, the alarm rang at 6 a.m., and the voice came back, right on time. "You're tired, Aryan. Just today. Rest." But this time, he didn't move. He lay there and he listened to the voice. Really listened. And for the first time, he heard something he had never noticed before. The voice never gave him energy. It never gave him a plan. It never told him how to start. It only ever gave him one thing, a reason to stop. That's when he remembered something his grandfather used to say. "Beta, the mind is like a locked gate. It will always give you reasons to stay inside, but life is always on the other side." Aryan sat up. He didn't feel ready. His body was heavy. His mind was still whispering, but he stood up anyway. Not because the fear was gone, not because the voice stopped, but because he finally understood. The voice was never trying to protect him. It was trying to keep him small, and he had been thanking it for years. Here is what Aryan understood that morning, and what most people never figure out. Your brain is not your enemy, but it is not always your friend either. The human brain is wired for one thing above everything else: safety. It doesn't care about your dreams. It doesn't care about your potential. It cares about keeping you where you are because where you are is known, and the unknown feels like danger. So every morning, when you want to wake up early and work, when you want to go to the gym, when you want to start that thing you've been avoiding, your brain sees the discomfort ahead, and it fires that soft, convincing voice. Not today, not yet, not now. And because the voice sounds like you believe it, you trust it, you obey it, and you stay small. Aryan stopped obeying. Not perfectly, not all at once, but he started catching the lie. Every morning, when the voice came, he would say one thing to himself quietly. That's not me. That's just fear pretending to be logic. And then he would move. So here is what this story wants to leave with you today. The thoughts you hear every morning, they are not all yours. Some of them are just old habits, old fears, old patterns your mind learned long ago to keep you safe from pain. But you are not a child anymore. You don't need to be protected from discomfort. You need to walk through it. The discipline you're looking for, it doesn't come before the action. It comes from the action. You don't wait to feel ready. You act, and readiness follows. You don't wait for the fear to leave. You move, and courage grows behind you. The morning is not your enemy. The alarm is not your enemy. The only thing standing between you and your life is a voice that learned to sound like you. Learn to hear it. Then choose differently. That's it. That's the whole secret. Aryan never became perfect. He still had hard mornings. He still heard the voice sometimes. But now he knew what it was. And knowing the lie is the first step to living the truth. 1 year later, he opened that old notebook again. He read the first page. This is the year I change everything. He smiled, and on the next blank page, he wrote something new. It started the morning I stopped listening to my own excuses. Maybe your morning looks like Aryan's. Maybe that voice has been speaking to you too, for months, for years, and you thought it was wisdom. It wasn't. It was just fear, dressed up in your own voice. You are not lazy. You are not stuck. You are just one honest morning away from a completely different life. If this story touched something inside you, like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to the Life Lessons Daily USA, because every week we tell stories that wake something inside you. See you in the next one.